Today we're looking at how to explore some deeper listening with the body and with our organs. So I've been working with the dance and movement to explore deeper listening skills for about 3 decades. And one of the things that we discovered was if you work kinesthetically, which is through feeling and sensing with the body, there is a way that the organs of the body actually listen. So the simplest way to experience this right now as you're listening to me is to feel or think about some music that really rocks you. So you can think of that famous classic Queen song, We Will Rock You. And just even feeling that song, I can't play the music for copyright reasons, you can just feel how that really heavy bass beat, dum, 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 moves through our bodies. It even starts to make you feel like moving. So whenever you feel music and bass sounds, they actually go into the body like a boom, boom, similar to our heartbeat. And when we grow up or when we're in utero with our mother, we feel the rhythms of the mother's body, the boom, boom of the heart, the pulse of all parts of the body. So listening with the organs is implicit in the way that our organs work from the moment that we come into the body, from the moment we start growing in utero. And listening with the organs is something that's implicit in dance and movement. It's implicit in the way that we feel music. We feel music in the organs of the body. So the organs of the body, if we just do a quick review, come from the brain itself. So music, as it ripples through our organs, will move through all of that tissue. So the brain organ. Then we have the heart and the lungs in the upper chest cavity. And then underneath the chest cavity, we have our belly organs. So they're all on the front body, all of our belly organs. And in the back body, if you put your hands behind your waistline, you have your kidneys. So they're the most superficial in the belly organs in the back body. So often with our organs, we're feeling the music ripple through those organs. So they'll ripple through all of the soft tissue of the organs. And when you hear that real great music that makes you feel that boom, 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 boom beat, you can feel it actually go into the body, into the organs. So this is where people who work kinesthetically, people who are able to feel kinesthetically, say more than other people, you may typically be using that sense of the organs more than others. You might be able to tap into that way of feeling through the organs more easily than others. So some of us use music to help get into the body, get deeper into the body. Others of us are just more finely tuned through feeling and picking up kinesthetically through the organs. Everybody has that capacity and that ability, but some of us may be more sensitive at the organ level. And this is something that I discovered when I was doing intuitive work or dancing. Many times I'd be working with someone or another person's body, and before I had a concept or an idea, I would have a feeling in my body. And a lot of the times it was a feeling in my gut, you would say, or a feeling that went through from the skin level and then went into my nervous system, into my sensory nervous system. And that was how I was picking up, say, a feeling around a certain emotion, or it could be a feeling of an experience that the other person might be experiencing in their body. And when I've done coaching work, which we normally do over the phone, it's not always done in person, it might be done remotely, what would happen is that I'd be listening to the person at the other side of the world or wherever they were located. I was separated by distance, but I'd be listening to them. And I was still experiencing feelings in my own body. So a kinesthetic person can be anybody who picks up kinesthetically through the body, through feelings. A kinesthetic person can be someone who's just able to sense things in their bodies first before they might get an idea or a thought form. They might sense something in the body first. And it's something that empaths talk about as well. Some people think that they pick up energies or pick up too much. But actually, it's just that capacity that all human beings have, and some of us use that capacity first. We might feel first before we get thought forms, and we might feel first as a way to navigate through the environment, through our space. So it's a very important skill to pick up kinesthetically. It's a way to ascertain your position in space. And if we take it back to in utero, as the child develops, picking up through the organs, picking up through the nervous system is an important way that we start to navigate even just the temperature of the environment that we're in, the feelings of the mother carrying the child, how to negotiate the growth that's going on, how to move inside that space, inside the womb, how to process all of the input that's coming in and out of the growing fetus and the growing child inside the womb. So the organs and the nervous system as they develop are really instrumental in experiencing what it's like to grow. And throughout our lives, the organs and the nervous system that feeds into the organs will continue to give us tuning and information on how we can move and how we can grow. So implicit in our organs, because we grow inside the womb, is this ability to start to sense what's coming next. We may not know what that is, and you certainly don't as a growing child. And that's the whole point. It's a constant in our environment, in our daily lives. We're constantly exploring what is that unknown, what is the next, and we're responding to that. And so the nervous system later in life, as we grow, starts to learn how to run away from danger, how to withdraw, and how to freeze as well or be still. And so those things in terms of the hormones come later in response to the environment. But in utero already, you're learning how to just experience that unknown and what's next, and exploring the next response and the next response. So it's organ feeling is a really important part of listening to the very subtle movements of our lives and how to respond to that subtlety, and also how to feel in the moment, and how to develop a deeper sense of being present to that moment versus our fight and flight response, which comes from later hormonal reactions. So let's look at how we can listen with the organs to really connect to that inner self. I'm going to just share a simple strategy which we use a lot in all of the movement workshops and in Qigong, in any of working with learning how to dance with the organs or connect deeper to the inner world. So very, very simple technique is to use your hand on the solar plexus or the belly. So as soon as we start doing the hand on the solar plexus, you can even begin to feel what goes on underneath your hand. So you can just try it along with me, or just listen to the ideas and visualize it in your mind. You don't need to actually do the exercise, but the hand contact, what it does, it starts to bring a sensory stimulus in a kinesthetic way that allows your organs underneath the hand and the nervous system to start to respond to the touch. And that's why in the Dance for Joy workshops and the other classes that I do, we do a lot of soft contact on the body. So you might use your own hand to start exploring that response from the inner body and that inner world to that outer world contact with your hand on the body. So with your hand on your upper belly, just underneath your chest, just closing your eyes, you can start to imagine what might be that space underneath your hand inside your body. So the space inside your body, you might not have an ease or a quick way to connect to it. So you can use an image or a thought to just imagine if you were to go deeper into your body underneath that hand, into the layers. And you don't need to know what it looks like. So we can use an image of the organs, which I can share after we do this simple exercise. But just now, just allow your imagination to go into the body underneath your hand on the solar plexus area, just underneath your chest. And notice if you've got any feelings or sensations of what it's like to feel into the body underneath your hand. So this time what we're going to do is just imagine that you're starting to do a yawn. Oh, excuse me. And just even saying the word yawn is very infectious. And just allowing yourself to yawn a little bit. Oh, I can't stop yawning when I say the word yawn. And you can make some sounds as well. And we're keeping that hand on that upper belly area there. And you're yawning. Excuse me. It's very infectious. But as you're yawning, you're just allowing yourself to feel whatever you're feeling there, perhaps a softening in the upper belly area there and the solar plexus. So that solar plexus is a really great way with the yawn to start feeling how your softness of the upper belly organs can be introduced with a yawn. When we used to do this with our teacher, Annetta, we used to do a really great way to start any dance movement class to soften into the organs. Your esophagus is directly connected to the digestive organs. And that yawn was a really great way to just allow the softening of the organs. Excuse me. And I'm not very polite. In polite society, I would cover my mouth, but we didn't used to cover our mouths because we really were trying to just open up and soften into that upper belly organ area. And also just with the hand on your solar plexus, when you start to soften it, you can start to feel what it's like to go deeper inside into the organs underneath your hand, and also the nervous system that starts to open up and support and soften. Now, when we soften our organs, what can happen is a lot of things that can help us to start to listen better. First, we just start to be more receptive. We start to be softer, and we start to be more open. And we also start to be more relaxed, and we might feel more safe or protected. So with that, what you can start to do is you can soften, and in the Middle Eastern dances, when we do undulations, it's just a little bit more of taking that ripple or that motion internally more, rather than thinking about moving the muscles or moving something at all. You're just thinking about moving the motion inside, internally into the body. Now, in terms of connecting with yourself or with others, what happens is you can be more perceptive about softer and more refined feelings and sensations. Because usually with our belly, we can be quite disconnected, can be quite serious, and we can be kind of cut off, basically. So when we soften into the organs with your hand contact, with the yawning, and just allowing your organs to feel soft, you can then allow yourself to start to feel more safe, and then to just feel more subtle vibrations or subtle sensations in that part of the body. And this can open us up to listening to things with a more open manner and a more soft manner, and also to the subtle experiences that you might be feeling in your belly or feeling in the soft tissues and the soft organs of the body. So I wanted to finish by sharing, when we connect to that softer part of ourselves that can be more perceptive with our organs, with our belly organs, we can start to actually feel what supports our heart chakra, or the center of that chest. One thing I learned quite profoundly in the Middle Eastern dance, or belly dance, which doesn't quite capture the Middle Eastern dances, because Middle Eastern dance traveled throughout the whole of the world, from Asia to Africa and also to South America as well. So the Middle Eastern dancers use an undulation movement, which you can also see in African dance and within Brazilian dance. So one thing I learned really profoundly from all those world dances and that rippling or undulation movement is that the softness of our solar plexus and upper belly really creates a wonderful bounce and ripple that supports that heart center and the heart chakra. And what I started to learn was that softness in the solar plexus upper belly area actually allowed this rebound for the heart. So it wasn't like I had to force my heart to open or lift or raise. It became this beautiful bounce where my heart could lift up away from the softness of the upper belly and come back into it. And I'm going to explore in a few more videos how our heart lifts and where it lifts from, because our heart lifts from many places in the dance. And Annetta Luce has shared so much with us in Sydney when she worked with us in the 2000s and the late 90s. So I wanted to share how that's manifested in many ways for myself in the dance and in the world dances, and also in the Sufi work, because the Sufi work is a profound way of opening the heart. And one of the ways that I've discovered after working with Annetta and feeling that heart supported by my upper belly was that the softness of the upper belly was a beautiful place for my heart to bounce and rebound into. And when you have a beautiful thing, a soft, comfortable space in your upper belly, the heart feels like it can expand from that place and also drop back into that place. And it changed the way I used to move. It changed the way I felt in my body, and it changed the way I taught dance for sure. And it changed the way I started to feel comfortable in my body. When our front body feels comfortable, our front body is where we allow intimacy, or allows closeness, and it allows new things into our lives. And if it's solid and frozen or you've got those six-pack abs, that's fine. But how do we let things in on an emotional level and feel comfortable with that? How do we allow relationships not to throw us off if conflict comes up? It's when we feel safe in our own bodies. So dance can be an enormous place to experience how to feel softness and strength in that place. And that's what we do with the Dance for Joy workshops. We look at how we can build that sense of the self through feeling more comfortable with our own self. And there's many layers to it. Kinesthetically, when we start to listen to our body and the organs, what happens is you start to see that there's this profound depth inside of you. It's not limited to just the body, but the body has this wonderful universe to create a lovely foundation for all of your sense of self, for your sense of your spiritual self, that sense of an empowered or expanded self, and your emotional self, your personality that wants to be free to play and to have fun and to be joyful. And that upper belly can be a place of the solar plexus is where we really start to feel our self expand and really open up. So those are simple areas, your upper belly, and how it can be a lovely soft space for your heart to lift and bounce into, for you to start to just explore. Today I just shared one simple strategy, having your hand on the solar plexus and yawning to allow the softness into the solar plexus. So if you want to practice that, you can. And then the next thing to experiment is that simple lifting of the heart away or up from the solar plexus and allowing it to sink back in, similar to a undulation movement, a little undulation. You don't have to make it big. And feeling how your heart center can lift away from the softness of the solar plexus and simply sink back into the solar plexus. I'm going to do another dance video about that to explore it. One of my other dance videos was What Lifts Us Up, where I really just start to explore that question of what lifts us up from the heart. And one of the most profound things I've learned from the dance is that our heart can lift from anything. It's linear in terms of gravity when we're standing up, but actually our heart can lift from anywhere and anything. And it's really just about our imagination and where we're putting our focus. So today in this video, I'm looking at how the heart can lift from a deeper listening into our organs, specifically the solar plexus, belly, upper belly organs. And we can do it also from other organs as well. And I would like to just share that as one technique to start exploring how you can listen into your body and discover how the organs are a simple way to connect to deeper listening when we soften into feeling those organs.